What's up, everybody? King of Fomo here, coming at you with your daily crypto update. Make sure you follow me over there on Telegram. That's t.me/KingofFomo1, as well as my chat and my website, kingoffomo.com, as well as my podcast, which I got to post another one on. Maybe we'll put this one on there. Today, we're going to be talking about Wisetoken. I'm doing a $50,000 Wisetoken stake. That's 241,000 Wisitokens, and we're going to take a look at how this stake goes for the next half a year. So I did my stake for 180 days, and I know some of you guys, before you're jumping in on this, some of you were a little bit skeptical, figuring out when do I want to buy in Wisetoken? Do you want to wait for a dip? Do you want to wait for the price to stabilize? All kinds of stuff like that. So let's just visualize this so you guys can kind of see me on my journey through here. So first of all, let's take a look at the Wisetoken, currently sitting at about 20 cents. The price has been pretty much the same as when it started. A lot of people expected a giant dump or a giant pump, but really, in reality, it's kind of just been moving sideways for the past couple days that it's been out. Now, of course, things might change in the future, but so far it's looking really good at holding this price up. 20 cents is a great price for Wisetoken. Now, taking a look at the back office here, if you guys are interested in staking, you can purchase your tokens in a couple of different ways. You can create a regular stake using Wisitokens if you purchase them on Uniswap, or if you just have some in your wallet already, or you can just go ahead and stake with Ethereum, and that Ethereum is going to automatically convert over to Wisitokens. And you don't have to buy them on Uniswap, but you can if you want to. It kind of saves you some gas from doing that right there. And as you can see, guys, right here, this is 3 days ago. I have 178 days left, and I did a stake of 241,000 Wisitokens on here. So far, I'm making close to about $17 to $20 a day here with Wisetoken, and that's going to equate to about 2 Ethereum overall. So let's go ahead and swing on over to Wiseinfo, and we'll take a look. I'm not going to do this ladder staking thing. I'm kind of just doing it in one lump sum. We're not really going to talk too much about ladder staking in this video, but just this is the staking simulator right here. So right now, we have 54% of Wisitokens staked right now, total, excluding the Uniswap liquidity pool tokens. And I believe that the average stake is probably about a year. Most of the people on my referral side are doing their stakes for at least a year, if not a little bit longer. So that's going. I'm going to keep that as the average. And most people are obviously using referral links to get that extra 10%. If you're not doing that, I mean, you probably just forgot to do that. And I plugged in my number right here. This is about 241,000 Wisitokens that I've staked. My stake length is about 180 days, and you can see that at the end of my stake, approximately, I'm going to be getting about 11,000 Wisitokens. Now, obviously, this number can change dramatically based on how many people are staking. We, imagine about 80% of people will be staking, so that's going to be about 7,000 Wisitokens. But if we just go with the number that we're at right now, which is about 54%, we'll take a look at how much is 11,000 Wisitokens. So let's go ahead and go over to Uniswap right here, and we'll type in 11,000 Wisitokens is going to be about 2.8 Ethereum. In USDT, we'll see that's about $2,200 in USDT. So for a half a year stake, a $50,000 deposit earning me an interest of $2,000 is not too shabby. Some other things to keep note of here, of course, it's going to be very volatile. That is not guaranteed because Wisetoken is not a stable coin. Ethereum's not a stable coin. None of this stuff is stable at all. So there's going to be some volatility, and that volatility can be both positive or negative. So again, we're looking at a price of a Wisetoken looking at about maybe 20 cents right now. And if you're looking at the more positive end of that, the positive speculation of that, if we're looking at somewhere around $1 for Wisetoken, a lot of people have been speculating that. Kind of like with Hex. Hex was the main goal was a penny for it to start, and then $1 after that. Hex did reach a penny, is currently hovering at about a penny right now. So if Wisetoken does reach its short-term goal of $1, then we can see that this stake can actually be a pretty hefty amount that I'm getting right here. Again, 11,000 Wise. The Wisitokens will remain the same. If the Wisetoken value goes up, then the value of what I'm going to be earning from staking goes up as well. And that $50,000 stake for 180 days for about a half a year will get me about $11,000 if Wisetoken does reach $1 by that time. or even later if I decide to hold out on that. And then you guys can look at some more speculative stuff as well. I mean, $11,000 is nice if you're looking at even the negative end. I know some people are, you don't want to plan for all things to work out positively. If things work out worst case scenario, Wisetoken goes down to even half the value of what it is right now. Still, even if Wisetoken dumps down to $10 or 10 cents, then I'll be okay with getting out about $1,000 in my stake right there, even if the value of my Wisetoken goes down over time. So if you've been debating what does staking do, how much do you have to stake, this is a $50,000 stake for a half a year. Obviously, if I went for the full 365 days, I'd be getting about double that, so you can kind of double those numbers up. And like I said, it's really completely and totally up to you. If you're staking for a longer amount of time in Wisetoken, then you're going to get a much larger percentage, a much larger rate back. So if I doubled this stake to 365 days, I'd be getting $27,000 by this time next year if Wisetoken were to reach $1, which I think is definitely well within the realm of possibility, especially due to the fact that if we look at Ethereum's price right now, Ethereum's sitting at about $700. I'm speculating just personally that Ethereum is probably going to hit around $2,000, which will double the price of Wisetoken essentially. And with Wisetoken rising or falling, I mean, it just works out really well in the end, as long as there's no catastrophe that happens with either of these coins. I think Ethereum, this is just a side note here, this is an ETH video, but I think Ethereum is a very safe bet in terms of the crypto space right now. In fact, if like I'm trying to move most of my Bitcoin over to Ethereum, Bitcoin's kind of had its run, I think, right now, and Ethereum's been sitting on the sidelines a little bit. Obviously, it's been rising with Bitcoin a little bit, but it hasn't even touched its all-time high of a little bit. I think $1,400 was its all-time high, almost double of what it is right now. And it touching 2,000, I think, is well within the realm of possibility, really easily. So all things considered, I mean, you guys can do, you're going to have to do the math yourself. I know a lot of people always ask me questions about how much do I stake, how much do I buy, how long do I stake, all that stuff. You guys have to figure that out on your own. This website right here, Wiseinfo, does a pretty good job of kind of giving you some calculations, but just to get a quick overview about what's going to be happening here with your stake. Like I said, if I'm doing this $50,000 stake for 365 days, I'm getting about $27,000 if this price goes to $1 a piece. And we can even extrapolate that out even farther. I know people in Hex have been staking for about a year. They're going on about a year and a month. So those people in Hex that are in it for a year and a half are potentially going to get even more. And as I've said earlier, if you're staking for a longer period of time, you're going to get more Wisitokens back. And if you're staking more Wisitokens, you're going to get more Wisitokens back as well. Some caveats to keep in mind and consider, though, like there's no way to game the system. I have a lot of messages of people saying, well, if I stake for one day, don't I get 10%? That's not how it works. You got to really just learn basic math to understand how the staking works and the percentages works for that bonus. And I talked about this before as well. If you guys are going to do this staking, it is time sensitive. You want to see these types of values, then you have until I think the 13th or 14th to put your stake in before you lose that 10% bonus for being an early staker essentially. So make your decision sooner rather than later. I mean, you don't have to make it immediately today, but make it before the 13th. And with these types of things, you can decide to go big or go home. If you're going to do a smaller stake, you're either going to regret it or you're going to feel very happy about your decision. One of the two things that's going to happen in the end. So I don't know, figure out what you guys are going to do if you're going to do anything with Wisetoken. And of course, there's a lot of people also sitting on the sidelines watching. That's what I did with Hex. I watched from the sidelines, and there's nothing wrong with watching from the sidelines as well. Nothing to gain, nothing to lose, no problems with that whatsoever. So that's my update here on Wisetoken. I just wanted to give you guys an update. Now I'm going to keep letting you guys know how my $50,000 stake is going with this thing. So I will keep giving you guys updates and keeping you guys updated in the positive and the negatives, because we're going to have good days, we're going to have bad days in Wisetoken. Let's be honest. One of the things that I noticed a lot of people saying after, like, this has only been out for 3 days, so people were like saying, ha, the price is dumped, it's gone down. It's been 20 cents for like the past 3 days. The price has really stayed pretty stable. But even if it does go down to 15, even 12 cents, like, it's not panic time. It's only been out for 3 days, and it's got plenty of time to prove itself, plenty of time for people to jump on board here and to figure things out. As far as use case for Wisetoken, that's another thing that people are worried about. Like, nobody's gonna buy this token because it doesn't do anything. But I mean, you got to look at the rest of crypto. It does do something. People are interested in it. It wouldn't really have the amount of liquidity that it has in Uniswap. $50 million worth of liquidity in Uniswap if people genuinely didn't care about it. So that doesn't really make sense to me when people are saying that it's a crap coin. Like, obviously people do have interest in it. And another thing to keep note of, like, just to see it, like, do people really care? Are they going to use this thing? And this chart looks pretty nice as it is right here, but just looking at the amount staked, so this locked liquidity on Uniswap is locked in there. That's going to be there. That's a huge deal, number one. And 30% of what's left here, and that's about actually 50% of what's left here is being staked. So it's not like the majority of people that purchased Wisetoken just immediately insta-dumped their tokens, which is what a lot of people speculated would happen. 54% of people that purchased these things have already staked them, and 23% are currently liquid. So even if these 23% of people, overdump and just dump all of their Wisetoken at once, it's not going to bring the price down to zero. So a lot of people that have been saying this coin's going to go to zero, I mean, it's kind of physically impossible at this point in time, which is going to give it, in my opinion, a lot more organic potential, growth, or decreasing. It's going to be organic. It's not going to be a super pump or a super dump with this thing, since you have so much staked and you have these stakes going for different amounts of times. I mean, I can show you guys, and normally I don't like to show this, but I can show you guys my referrals right here, and they're staking for different amounts of time. So again, the average is about a year, 365 days. Some people are testing out the max stake. This is, I think, 15 years. I wouldn't do that, but 365 days we're looking at. Some people are doing 2 and 3 years here. So there's potential, and people do see this thing lasting at least a year. I think a lot of people are banking on this thing going at least a year. And with the way that Hex turned out, it's been a year with Hex, and Hex is not $0 or 0 cents yet. Wisetoken has potential as well, and if you ignore that, it's just don't be on one polar end of this. Don't say that Wisetoken is going to go up to $100, and don't say that Wisetoken is completely useless. Look at this from an objective view. Understand what other people are thinking about it, and make your decision based on that. Don't make your decision based on emotions and what you want to happen. Make your decision based on what's actually happened. All right, that's everything for today, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Follow my podcast if you haven't yet. I'm most likely going to put this up on the podcast, and my website and all that other stuff, Telegram. All right, guys, peace out.